Good evening, everybody. Doing this one as a podcast. It's late, so definitely wanted to get this out because I've heard a lot of rumblings on the internet and on social media and all that about the fight. So I definitely wanted to discuss, the Ugas versus Pacquiao fight. I had a chance to watch it twice, so really try to get a good analysis on it, and definitely wanted to discuss it with the community and see what you guys think. So, as we know, Pacquiao did lose the fight. And to me, it was the right decision. I think he did lose. It wasn't a runaway by Ugas. He won the fight, but he didn't dominate Pacquiao. But he fought a good game plan. He made it hard for Pacquiao to really implement his game plan, which we know Pacquiao really fights, really one way, and that's aggressive, coming at you, throwing a lot of punches, using footwork, really, changing angles a lot. Ugas neutralized Pacquiao by using his jab first, and I think that was really the kind of the snowball of the whole fight that really showed what you could do against Pacquiao. If you got a strong jab and you use it and you're controlling distance and just being active, and not fighting, Pacquiao's fight. That's really what it came down to. And Ugas, you just listen, he was uncooperative. He wasn't going to stand in the pocket too long. He wasn't going to, he was always going to be in the sweet spot distance-wise to make sure that he wasn't going to be able to get caught with more than one punch at a time. And I think that was a perfect game plan to fight. And I think, people are trying to make this about Pacquiao's age. And listen, age plays a part, and Pacquiao is definitely old. He's 42. He hasn't fought in 2 years. There was no tune-up. No matter whether this was Spence or Ugas, he was going into a fight with a tough guy, with either one of them, right? So it was going to be hard either way. And I think that's a challenge. You got to respect Manny for taking that kind of challenge. But Ugas is not a cooperative fighter. He's going to do whatever he has to do to squeak out a win, right? He's a squeak out a win type of fighter. He's not going to wow you one way. He's not a knockout artist. He is pretty much a boxer. That's his style. He's a boxer. So if he needs to use just his jab and distance management to win a fight, that's what he's going to do. And it was going to be on Pacquiao to really find a way around that to win the fight. So it didn't happen, and that's really what it came down to. Now, yes, Pacquiao again is old, and maybe Pacquiao old would have put even more pressure on Ugas. But I think whether he was vintage Pacquiao or not, it still would have been a harder hill to climb. Now that would have just made it maybe a closer fight if he was able to do that, right? It would have just been a closer fight, right? But I don't think he would have found a way around that, even his old self, because Pacquiao's fights really one way, right? He throws a lot of punches, he uses footwork, he changes angles, and he just didn't do that to the next level of himself last night. He only did it to a certain degree, and it wasn't enough to overcome the distance management and the jab of Ugas, who wasn't going to be there long enough for him to throw a bunch of flurries and really get hit with anything. He wasn't trying to do that. Now, if that was Spence, in my opinion, I feel like Pacquiao could have had more success at moments, because Spence is a much more willing slugger at times, right? He'll he's a big, strong welterweight, and he's looking at Pacquiao like, yeah, I know you're a legend, you got heavy hands, or at least you used to, but I'm still the man right now. So if you want to slug it out for a moment, I'm gonna meet you right there and let you know that you're not worthy of doing such a thing. The danger in that is, yes, Spence will get hit more, but if you can't hurt Spence, he's probably going to hurt you. And I think that's where the difference would play in that fight had they fought each other. But Ugas is not that fighter. He is completely not even close to that. You know, he's not coming to knock you out. He's coming to win by boxing. And so, you know, perfect style matchup for Pacquiao. You know, when you got a guy who's, you know, bigger and longer and wants to use a jab and, you know, manage that distance to the T as much as possible, he's not going to be there to be hit. And so you put that on the same, you know, stage as a guy who's 42, undersized, and needs to use his footwork. You know, you kind of rolling the dice to see, like, well, you know, which Pacquiao you're gonna get, right? So we got the one that isn't the most elite, efficient version of himself, especially given the time he's been out and, you know, his age. So that's what it came down to. But we also got to give credit to Ugas, right? He fought a great game plan, and he's an underrated fighter. You know, is he the elite of the elite? No, right? If he fought Crawford and Spence, you know, odds are he doesn't win that fight, right? But he's a lot better than people probably gave him credit for. We were just all hyped up about this Spence fight, right? We were really excited about having Spence be the opponent, you know, for Pacquiao, and really kind of the changing of the guard right there. So, you know, we're just gonna have to wait and see if that will ever happen, or, you know, does the excitement die out now that Pacquiao lost to Ugas, who in the public eye isn't on the same level as Errol Spence, right? So how do we feel as fans about that going forward? Does Spence move on and fight someone else, right? Does he fight Ugas? You know, Ugas is still a title holder, right? So there's something to gain there by fighting him. Or does he move on and fight someone else? Hopefully that's Crawford. We know that's always been an issue. We could hold our breath on that, but let's see. So that's just my short 2 cents on that. I think that, you know, we're putting way too much, you know, about the age. You know, it's gonna be a story because it has to, right? He is, you know, the older fighter in the division, so it has to be a storyline, right? It's something that we all can gravitate to and grab onto because it's something that we can see. But I think it was more about a style matchup than people really want to give, you know, credit for Ugas. And I think we need to acknowledge that. So let's wait and see what happens next for these guys. And, you know, listen, Pacquiao's a legend. So, you know, there's no shame in this loss. He fought seemingly well, and, you know, for the most part, you know, he just couldn't overcome that style matchup. And I think that in any version of Pacquiao, that was going to be a problem. So he can ride off in the sunset, you know, if he does so, and knowing that he had a great career and that he has nothing to be ashamed of. You know, he's going to be a legend in everybody's eyes no matter what. So, you know, kudos to him, and kudos to Ugas for the win. And he's on to bigger and better things. You know, he got a decent payday, and it was an opportunity of a lifetime that he took advantage of. So, you know, you can't be mad at him. And let's see what he does next. So let me know what you guys think. Drop your 2 cents in the comments. You know, like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff on the various social medias. This will be posted, and see you guys in the next one.